Today is the big day for Marvel at Comic-Con. Their Hal H presentation is later tonight, and fans are expecting big things. What does the MCU look like after the Infinity Saga? What will Phase 4 be like? Will we get a slate of all of the films presented to us? We're going to preview, predict, and speculate about all of that in this live stream. This is another edition of Fan Chats Live here at the Den of Nerds. We do it for the fans. Good morning, all of you beautiful nerds from around the world. How you guys doing? How are we doing this morning? Al Schuler's in the building, everybody. It's the day, guys. Oh, and by the way, I didn't put this in the bumper ad for the beginning here, but I'm actually going to live stream tomorrow as well. There's a lot of crazy Star Wars stuff that has been happening, believe it or not, at San Diego. And so I want to do a live stream tomorrow to go over that for Star Wars Sunday. But here's the plan today. Oh, slight echo. I apologize. Let me see here. Okay, how about now? Is that better? New setup in the new studio. Growing pains, guys. Growing pains here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat how I sound. Yes, much better. Okay, great. Okay, we got it figured out. When is the slate announcement? We're going to get into all of that, guys. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to talk about everything we think we're going to see at the Hal H panel tonight. We are going to get into all of that, baby. And then again, for those of you that are not familiar with the channel or not familiar with Fan Chats Live, these are longer form videos. Our live streams on this channel are very casual. A lot of Q&A, just hanging out with the subscribers, talking about this kind of stuff. So maybe the more edited videos is for you. So first time here, this is going to be a long video. Maybe come back for a different video. But guys, before we get into all of the craze in Hal H, can I just say just one little thing? Just want to say one little thing about yesterday. Yes, I was drinking the haterade yesterday. Yes, I was a little too harsh on Dan and Dave, and a little too harsh on the Avengers game on the Avengers channel. Now, here's the thing. I deleted the video about Dan and Dave. I watched the video again and again and again, and honestly, I was just too pissed off, man. I was too pissed off, and I swore way too much in that video in general. It was just not the quality. It was just not a good video, so I deleted that. However, I still feel the way that I do, right? But on the gaming channel, that video I'm going to leave up because actually I do feel that way about the Avengers game. But yeah, it could have been a little bit more nicer. So if you're yeah, I know, Al. I know. You know what's funny? A lot of people reach out to me and said they liked that rant. But yeah. Anyway, let's get in to some Hal H stuff, guys. Okay, so here's the thing. Tonight, here's the plan. Tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, everybody's going to go into Hal H. Okay? So everybody's going to go into Hal H, and Marvel's going to do their presentation. I believe the presentation is at least 2 hours. It might even be longer than that. Because, like, what I think happens a lot with these cons is that you go in there, and these panels, particularly with Marvel, it just takes a little while for everybody to get on stage. You know, the transitions are slower. They really take time with, you know, answering Q&A and doing things like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be watching, of course, the rumor mill, watching things on Twitter, watching stuff on Reddit, seeing how stuff plays out. And then we will go live tonight at midnight. Tonight at midnight, Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go live. And we're going to do a live stream, and we're going to talk about everything that happened, right? Everything that people are talking about, speculate. Just it's going to be a really fun stream. So come back tonight at midnight, whether you are watching this live or on the replay later today. Definitely. Oh, Pennywise the Clown is going to be at Marvel's Hal H panel. That's awesome. What time is the panel? It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So around that time. So midnight tonight is the important time when you're going to come back here and watch us on the live stream talking about all this stuff. So right now, guys, the big predictions out there, the thing that people are pretty sure we're going to get, the best bet is on Black Widow. And one of the interesting things about Black Widow is that this film has been shooting. We've seen footage of it shooting. And I watched an interview the other day where Kevin Feige was talking about how they actually planned the filming of MCU movies in concordance with Hal H, in concordance with Comic-Con. Like, Feige's so aware that Comic-Con is this much of an important thing that he will literally plan some of the filming around so that he can cut together a trailer. So what I expect is literally some kind of a trailer for Black Widow. Now, that might not get released publicly, okay? Because if you'll remember, back when they had the trailer for Infinity War, which was, wow, was that 2 or 3 years ago now? I don't remember. But back when they had the trailer for Infinity War, you'll remember that it was only shown to people at Hal H because the visual effects weren't quite done. And so Feige talked about this. It was a few weeks before we saw that trailer come out to anybody online, like live. And the reason was because they had to really tighten up those digital effects. Feige said that certain things will play for a Hal H crowd that will not play for a normal crowd, right? So, like, people online will get, very nitpicky about things. They'll be looking at every frame by frame, really digging into these things. The Hal H crowd is so hyped up, and they're so excited about Marvel in general that they're going to be just into it. And so they'll forgive all of the little, like, errors, all of the little things where there's not, finished CGI and whatnot. So I expect we'll get a trailer like that for Black Widow. However, there's a possibility that trailer will leak. If it leaks, we'll look at it. We'll talk about it later tonight at our live stream, breaking it all down. But I expect them to give us a good bit of information about Black Widow. Black Widow, I believe, will be the early film next year. So Black Widow will be the first film next year. There's only 2 slated MCU movies next year. People are pretty certain that it's going to be Black Widow early, Eternals later. Okay? And so the Black Widow movie, expect to learn a lot about. I hope we get a big old tease about Taskmaster and what exactly he's going to look like, how exactly that's going to play in. There's a lot of interesting stuff that they can do with the Black Widow movie. I think right now, particularly Marvel fans, and let me know in the chat, guys, who let me know about this, we're really trying to nail down what's the time frame here. Where does this movie take place? Because we used to think that it was going to be a long, long time ago, but we've seen modern cars in a lot of it. So a lot of the leaked set photos. So where in the timeline does this film take place? Okay. So I think that's something really interesting, and they can play on with the villain, obviously. And I think just Scarlett Johansson in general, like, at this point, she has earned the respect and admiration of most MCU fans. I know, like, not everyone loves ScarJo, and, some of the things she's gotten into some minor controversies here and there. But I think by and large, the MCU fan community loves ScarJo. I love Scarlett Johansson, and I love that character, particularly. Like, Black Widow in these films has an incredible arc and an incredible ending in Endgame. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the next thing we're pretty sure we're going to see is the Eternals. Now, this is where it starts to get really into unseen territory, right? The Eternals is a very, very interesting property for Marvel to tackle. Now, this has next to no recognition from the everyday fan, from the normies. Even myself, who I consider to be like, I don't know, like a 7 out of 10 as far as comic book fan knowledge power. You know what I mean? I'm on the higher scale, if you will. Not quite Omega level, but pretty up there. I'm not really familiar with the Eternals at all. Now, I was talking to some comic book friends the other day about this, and they said something like, the funny thing about the Eternals is they're sort of like the Inhumans. And so we kind of get to do the version of the Inhumans that will actually be respectful to that source material. You know what I mean? Like, the Eternals sort of have that vibe. Oh, pardon me. Had to sip a little coffee there. But yeah, so I think that the Eternals is a really exciting. I mean, much like the Guardians of the Galaxy and even Iron Man and even the Avengers, they weren't particularly popular in the comic book realm. But Marvel does a great job of taking these sort of niche characters and formulating them brilliantly for the MCU. I really think, and I've said this in preview video after preview video. I believe that Sir Keanu Reeves, and he's actually not knighted. I don't think he can be because he's American. But Keanu Reeves is coming out on that stage. Keanu is hype right now. Keanu is the memes. Keanu is internet boyfriend. And I know it's toned down a little bit in the past couple of weeks because, I don't know, it's just the way the internet goes. But, man, I'm telling you, they bring out Keanu Reeves with the cast of the Eternals, and they start to tease us about the Eternals. Man, that would be really cool. Now, what I'm hoping... He's Canadian? Todd Howell? Is he really Canadian? Man. Canada's got some good ones, man. Canada's got some good players for that team. When is the stream for... When is our stream? So our stream will be... What's the 3-hour difference at midnight? 9 p.m.? Yeah, it sounds about right. I think it's 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we'll do it. Yeah, the panel today is... And thank you guys in chat for answering people as they come in here, because I know that's what people want to know. At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. And tonight on this channel at midnight Eastern Standard Time, we are doing a live stream to break down everything that went down in Hal H, everything that leaks, everything we can get our grubby little nerdy hands on. We're going to break it down here at midnight Eastern Standard Time. I'm getting angry before things happen. Is that me? Are you talking about me? Hey, I had an angry day yesterday, man. I was like the angry cat on YouTube. Both those videos. But yeah, so Eternals has an opportunity to be very, very interesting. Now, we have heard rumors, guys, that Marvel's going to be splitting up, sort of, so to speak, splitting up their slate. Oh, goodness. And having Earthbound stories and then cosmic stories. So they're going to sort of have mini arcs, not quite as epic and big as... No, I never watched Youngblood. Not quite as epic and as big as the Infinity Saga and everything we did with Thanos, but we're going to do sort of mini arcs, right? Like one on Earth, and the big rumor there is that it'll be either Norman Osborn or Justin Hammer creating the Dark Avengers, and that we're going to do that on Earth. And then meanwhile, in space, the Cosmic Avengers will be fighting what is rumored to be Korvac right now, actually. So Korvac is rumored to be the big bad, and they'll have an overarching cosmic theme with those movies. So we don't know that, of course. That's all rumored, right? But the thing that's interesting is if we have an Earthbound story and a cosmic story happening next year in the films, that's a perfect way to sort of set up that to have those two things happening parallel, which would be really, really interesting. Yeah, Thor 4, can't freaking wait. I mean, look, they could always tease, and we're going to get in a second here, the little things, the teases, the more speculative stuff, right? Right now we're sort of previewing and predicting. We'll get into the speculative stuff because I think you go Fantastic Four. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't at least tease some Fantastic Four, tease some X-Men. We'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, so I think that at the very least, they could show some visual stylings of what the Eternals is going to look like. And I think they can explain a little bit more of how Thanos and the events of the Infinity Saga are going to tie in to those movies, to the Eternals, because he is technically related to them, right? So Thanos is an Eternal, but he's got the deviant gene, right? And so he's like mutated. So it will be really interesting. I hope they at least show us like some visual stylings, right? Like, because when Doctor Strange was announced at Hal H several years ago before the film came out, before they had really even shot anything, they had concept work, little like animations and stuff that showed how the magic was going to work in the movie. So like Feige always brings some flavor, right? So we're hoping that he brings some flavor for Eternals. We get the cast to come out there, maybe get a Millie Bobby Brown, a lot of rumored big-time celebrities are supposed to be in this Eternals movie, so maybe they bring that out and get a little bit of explanation. So that's really the more obvious stuff. Okay? Now, the slate is an interesting thing. So do we think that we will actually get a slate? It's on the thumbnail of this video. It's on the thumbnail of a million YouTube videos. Everybody's anticipating this thing. Feige did this thing back in the day where he had the slate. the El Royale Theater, I believe. And he comes out and he has this crazy slate. It shows what all the movies are. We're looking at these things. It's just nerd explosions of brains over and over again. We're like, holy crap, that movie. Holy crap, that movie. Holy crap, that movie. And you know what's amazing is how close Feige kept to that slate. Some dates moved around. Some subtitles changed. The Inhumans, of course. Rest in peace, the Inhumans. But by and large, he stayed pretty true to that. So Malvik Pilgrim knows where my head's at with this. I think the slate could be saved for D23. But here's what I've really been thinking about lately is this. What if there's no slate? Because if you think about what they just did with Thor 4, and they bring, Taika back, and they sign that sort of a last-minute deal. Taika was said to be developing the Akira movie, right? And then, boom, all of a sudden, scoops in and gets him. That's really hard to do a move like that and make a film like that if you already have this slate set up. So what I think is that Feige might be more reluctant than last time to do that because we're sort of opening things up with the MCU. We're sort of allowing things, newer things to happen, different ideas to take place, stories that maybe don't linearly fall in a line, right? So I don't know if there even is going to be a slate. Now, I do think that it is very beneficial for Marvel to set up big things, to set up the big events. So I'm almost starting to think that it would be better if they, instead of a slate, just say, like, literally put up Dark Avengers. You know what I mean? Just put up a thing of Dark Avengers and be like, and explain a little bit more of the mini arc, right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I think that that's the way they do it. I would love a slate because, honestly, the slate is great for us as fans. It's great for the channel because we get to literally just literally break down every little nugget. That's like 13 videos if they do. You know what I mean? So it'd be crazy. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if that's the way they're going to go. So as far as the slate is concerned, if anything, that will be a D23. But I really do hope that they tease some of the upcoming big event films, and I don't know how much of that they're going to actually put in stone, right? Because I think the Thor 4 kind of makes me think that. Man, I don't know how many moderators I got. Let me know, guys, if somebody's acting a fool in the chat. Because I don't have a lot of my mods in here right now. So that, that could be cool. Now, let's talk about Fantastic Four and X-Men. Let's talk about Fantastic Four and X-Men. So, I think normal logic and just everything that... Look, if you're playing it safe, they're not going to talk about it, right? If you're playing it safe, they're not going to talk about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Because, how much can they actually talk about? But as I said in videos before, I think that there's a couple of things they could do where they could essentially talk about the X-Men and the Fantastic Four without having anything definitive there in stone. No, Jonah Buddha, don't do it. Don't do it, man. There's a couple of things they could do. Number one, right now we're leaning towards the Avengers Towers being bought by Oscorp or being bought by Justin Hammer, of course, if they go that route and they do that with the Dark Avengers. But what if it's actually the Baxter Building? A lot of people have talked about the fact that it could be the Baxter Building, and that would introduce the Fantastic Four. So if they explain even just that at San Diego Comic-Con, that's huge news, and it sets up the Fantastic Four. We don't actually get anything definitive, of course, but that would be dope, right? We could start to speculate, start to do theories. Al Schuler coming in hot with the $2 super chat for the Den of Nerds. Thank you, my friend. By the way, we will get into just raw Q&A in a little bit here, guys. I just want to hang out with you guys and answer your questions. Let's just, speculate together. But there's a few other things we got to get through first. But yeah, we'll get into straight Q&A in just a second. So I think that they could similarly, with the X-Men, talk about how they want to develop... basically, because Feige understands Comic-Con so well, and he understands how to dominate news cycles. He just understands the nerd culture. Honestly, it's crazy how smart this dude is with what he does. So it's possible that he could talk about the branding of like Marvel's X-Men. And he could talk about the X-Men films before, his legacy as being a part of the X-Men films. If you don't know this, guys, Feige was a producer on, I believe it was 13 Marvel movies before he got the job at Marvel Studios. Before he got the job at Marvel Studios, there's a rumor, and I don't know how true this is, but there's a rumor that Hugh Jackman's hair, the hair, the Wolverine hair, that was Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige actually, as an assistant producer, came onto the lot, saw that going down, and was like, no. This is how you would do Wolverine's hair. I know this because I'm the biggest nerd on the planet, and I've thought about this for years. Feige might be responsible for that. Anyway. That Feige could do something like that and sort of tease the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. I would love. I mean, like, there's some weird things that I would love. I would love it if they announced Disney Plus, the show, the Fantastic Four show. I honestly think, guys, and you got to let me know in chat what you think about this. I think that if we had the Fantastic Four in Disney Plus show, that'd be the perfect way to do it. You can do villain of the week flavor. You could really develop the family dynamics, have them go through a whole arc, really get an attachment to those people. It reminds me a lot of what they did with Lost in Space, the show for Netflix, because I like that show a lot, and it really builds the dynamic of the family over time. The Fantastic Four is a family property. It has to be family. It works as a family. It can be mature. You do need slice of life. It can be mature, but it has to be family oriented. So if we get something like that, man, would that be hype. Man, would that be cool. That would be really, really cool. And then finally, there's the possibility that we get a bunch of crazy Disney Plus stuff that we were not expecting. There's rumors right now that there might be a War Machine show. You know what I mean? I actually feel like the Young Avengers. This is what's crazy. Mark my words here, because if I tell you what, if I'm right about this, this is crazy because nobody's talking about this. I actually think that they might develop Young Avengers as either a show, or really what I think they're going to do is do it as a movie on Disney Plus. I think the MCU is going to be able to do film production, and put films directly on Disney Plus. I think they can do that. I think they should do that because it's already getting too messy and clogged up in the theaters. I mean, dude, all people go see right now is Disney and Marvel movies. If you look at the box office right now, it's ridiculous. That will adjust. It will adjust. All markets readjust. But right now, all people do is go see Disney and Marvel movies, and their own films are starting to become too competitive with their own properties. So I think they could start putting movies on Disney Plus, and Young Avengers is the perfect movie to put on Disney Plus because I know a percentage of Marvel fans would not be pumped about going to see that in the theaters, but I know every single Marvel fan would check it out on Disney Plus. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know that. I guess I shouldn't speak so definitively on that, but that's my notion. That's the notion I have, right? And so I think that's the way you do it, man. And if that stuff really ties in beautifully to the MCU, I mean, if you're Disney, think about this. If you're Disney and the streaming wars have begun and you got to get that Netflix money, right? Well, what's right now the hottest thing on the planet? Well, it's the MCU. The MCU is by far the most popular thing out there. It's dwarfs. It's crazy how popular this is. So why not put the majority of your behind a paywall content directly tying into the most popular thing on the planet, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. The shows themselves, I think, will be brilliant and be developed and really do long-form stuff, but I still think there's room to do movies. So that's kind of my opinion. So that, guys, that is pretty much the previews, predictions, and speculation that I have for what we will receive tonight at Hal H. And again, I just want to let everybody know, I'm live streaming tonight. And just look, I'll tell you guys right now, a little secret. Lean in. This is just between you and me. Lean in. My sister turns 30 tonight. I'm going to be at her birthday party. And I'm literally leaving that party early. and I might be, I might have a few drinks in me, and I'm coming back to the studio, and we're live streaming tonight at midnight to talk about everything that goes down in Hall H, baby, because it's mother flipping Comic-Con week, and it's mother flipping Marvel. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Don't tell my sister; she's gonna get mad. But that's just the way that is. That's the way it is. All right, guys. Let's get into some Q&A. Drop your questions into the chat. I will go over as many questions as I can. If you got some loot, you want to drop a super chat in. It helps the channel. It supports the channel. Supports what we're doing here. Pay for all this new freaking soundproofing stuff in the new studio, please. No, but yeah, if you've got some loot and you want to help the channel out, I'll read every single super chat that comes in. If you don't have any loot, don't worry about it. Drop your questions in. We're going to just go over as many things as we can. Let's start here with Millen Jackson. Do you think they'll announce a Nova movie? And if so, which version? Sam Alexander, Richard Rider? My money is on Richard Rider. Yeah. So my money would be also on Richard Rider. Simply because I think the tendency here for the MCU is to establish the legacy characters and then work on passing the baton. I think they're sort of doing that with Miles Morales, although it's really slow game for that. I think they might technically be doing that with Ant-Man, Hawkeye, with a lot of these characters. And that's the right way to do it, right? So I think it'll be Richard Rider first, and then go to Sam. And I like both those characters, so that would be really, really cool. C-Mob, how do you think they will introduce Miles Morales? Oh, interesting, because we just talked about Miles a little bit there. So I think in the next film, I mean, it really depends, right? They're doing some really weird stuff right now with the MCU, particularly with Spider-Man. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is now, right? Am I fully moved in? No, not even close, dude. And by the way, the content has suffered this week because I thought I was trying to live stream all week. I just got this set up. Anyway, they're doing some really weird stuff with Spider-Man, everybody knowing who he is. So I don't know. I think if they can work it out with Sony, a lot of this is contingent upon what they do with Sony. So I think if they work things out with Sony and they have a path forward for Miles in the MCU, then I think it makes sense to introduce him in this third part. I think the age would work. It's like, or maybe the first year of college, because they're considering doing, right now there's a rumor that they're doing 3 movies in high school with Peter, 3 movies in college, and perhaps 3 older movies with Peter too. I've heard that rumored as well. So if they do that, then either the third Spider-Man movie or the first Spider-Man movie, which technically would be the first with him in college, which would be the 4th movie. I think that's where you introduce Miles. Last Jedi Yoda asks, Hulk trilogy? Wouldn't that be dope? Unfortunately, it's a thing with Universal. And at this point, it's like Feige could do it. They could make the movie. Universal would just get a huge cut of distribution. And particularly overseas, I believe the cut of distribution is even worse for Marvel. And in some places, in some countries, Disney doesn't even distribute it. Like I was looking into it. I believe there's certain countries that Warner Brothers distributes a Disney film, and I don't get it. It has to be just because of some regulation or something like that. But Hulk trilogy, I don't think so. I think if Feige's really smart and he figures out some way to do a movie with She-Hulk or Scar or something like that, right? Like maybe he can figure out a way to get around that and do that kind of a trilogy. But I got to be honest here. I don't know how many more trilogies we're getting. Like, do you guys think they're going to do a Captain Marvel trilogy? Or is it more like Captain Marvel 1, Captain Marvel 2, Captain Marvel 3, Captain Marvel 4? Because maybe they're not trilogies anymore, right? Maybe not. Doom, in my opinion, isn't the way to go for the start of the Fantastic Four. Tell some other story, filter in Doom as an overarching bad guy. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting perspective. I think Doom's very important, not only to the Fantastic Four, but to the whole fabric of the MCU. I don't think, maybe you don't start with a Doom movie, but yeah. When does the panel start? Dope Jack. The panel starts later tonight, brother. Later tonight is the official Marvel panel, okay? Now, it's going to all be behind closed doors. So what we're going to do is we're going to literally just look at everything we can find, whatever leaks on Reddit, whatever people are tweeting about, because everybody's going to be there. This is what always happens. Everybody's in that room, They see everything. Immediately when they get out, everybody like gets to their phones and starts blowing up the internet with everything they saw, descriptions. So like a lot of tonight will be like us literally like looking at some dude's description of a trailer. And then but I mean, like, guys, that's what we do. That's the dirty thing, man. Like, we're so hyped on this. Like, I can't wait. Like, if I could pay money right now to get a description that Feige wrote of what he's doing for the Hal H panel on a cocktail napkin in purple crayon that's bleeding through and I can hardly read, I would pay for that. I would pay for that. Well, so, okay, I don't think it's stupid at all, actually, for them to put it behind closed doors. I'm actually pumped C-Mob, I appreciate you, brother. I'll take a break someday. I love the fact that it's behind closed doors because I think part of the magic is speculating. So part of the magic is speculating and getting in fan communities like we are doing here and just trying to think about what it could mean, what it could look like, you know what I mean? Looking at the little pieces together. I think all of that builds hype. Like, I think that, like, Marvel is really, really smart about this stuff. Like, really, really smart about this stuff. So it's going to create a whole lot of hype for it tomorrow. It's going to be cool. Will Harley Kenner from Iron Man 3 have a bigger role in Phase 4? I do think that would be cool. And Feige did say in that AMA, like he did that big AMA recently on Reddit, and he said that one of the things he absolutely loves is going back and taking a character that people think had been, like they've seen the last of, and bringing them back into the MCU. So I would love it. Man, I thought the kid was good. And I mean, like, you know, we only get to see him at the end of Endgame, but he looks like he's aged up a lot. I assume he's still a good actor. Yeah, why not? Put him in that. Where's Ken? Ken, let's check my phone. Ken might have actually texted me back. Yeah. I was texting with Ken this morning. Yeah, so I was just texting. Ken is killing it on social, as always. And I'm trying to see if I can get him on the live stream tonight at midnight. So even if I can't figure out a way to get his video streamed in, I might like just put up like a little thing and have his audio in because I'd love to nerd out with him tonight about the panel. Yeah, Ken is the homie for sure, dude. Ken is good dude. Next big phase villain, Skrulls with Secret Invasion, Mr. J says. I mean, it's possible. I really want Secret Invasion. It's so weird now because the frickin' Skrulls are good guys, right? And they've sort of replaced, like, they've done the LMD thing, life model decoy thing with Nick Fury, but with the Skrulls. That's really weird. I would love to see the Skrulls as villains and see this villainous side of the Skrull, but, like, it really seems far off from what they've set up currently. So. What are your predictions for Hulu's supernatural sector of the MCU? Well, first of all, Maverick, I really hope that's a thing, right? Because at this point, it's all like rumored, right? So at the very least, there'll be some supernatural properties over there. But if they announce Blade coming back for a show on Hulu, then I am getting freaking Hulu. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would be crazy. And I really do think it would be great if they had that as the more mature side, which just kind of flips it because right now it's obviously got Runaways, which is not really that mature. It's like YA. It's like young adult, right? But if they figured out a way to put some more hardcore stuff on there and sort of shift the branding over there to be the more hardcore supernatural side of the MCU, I'm all for it. I would love it. Who would I cast as Blade? I mean, dude, I think Wesley Snipes still got it in him. You know what I mean? Like, I think you go with Snipes. By the way, Feige's worked with Snipes before because, yes, Kevin Feige was a producer on some of those Blade movies. I would love it if we got Wesley Snipes. But as far as, like, more modern-day actors, I can never pronounce the dude's name. It's so embarrassing. It's totally my shortcoming and not his name. But the guy that played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, I know it's, like, kind of double-dipping, but, dude, he would be great. John Boyega would be great. There was someone else that I thought would be great as Blade, but I can't quite remember at the moment. But yeah, any of those people would be awesome. But I say Wesley, just come on, Wesley Snipes, come on, do it. That'd be cool. Is Black Widow rated movie? Question mark. I believe you mean like rated R or whatever. So I would love it if Black Widow was rated R. I know. I don't think they're gonna do it. I really don't. But they could still sort of market it as a more mature, more gritty, more violent MCU movie, which would be really cool. Mahershala Ali, yes, that's the guy. Yep. Um, Michael J. White, Michael J. White would be awesome. He was in The Dark Knight, right? I believe that's the guy, right? Yeah. That would be cool. Holy cow, what's my prediction for the next 8 movies? Jeez, man. I can't predict the next 8 movies. I think Black Widow Eternals. And then, dude, and then it goes anywhere. And then it goes anywhere, my friend. And then it goes anywhere. Oh, Shang-Chi, yeah. So that would be really cool too. Some people are saying that they could cast Shang-Chi, that they maybe have already cast Shang-Chi, just not confirmed it anywhere, and that they will bring him in, like bring out the guy that's playing Shang-Chi and announce more about the Shang-Chi movie at Comic-Con. They could totally do that. Like that would be hype. I would be very excited for that. Who is Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi is like a master of Kung Fu. A character that, like, basically, like, his family has, like, all these weird political tie-ins, and his, like, sister's evil. He's basically just amazingly good at Kung Fu. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, I believe that even his Kung Fu is, like, on the level of, like Iron Fist, where he can sort of evoke some literally mystical energies and stuff like that. Yeah, so he's a lot like Iron Fist. Dude, Moon Knight! Guys, I have a Moon Knight video right now. I'm working on this Moon Knight video. Patrons will get this Moon Knight video first before anyone. And it's the start of a new series on the channel where we're breaking down how things could work into the MCU. I have a dope Moon Knight video coming out for you guys because you guys asked Ken on social media a lot for that video. So yeah, Moon Knight video on the way. And the patrons, by the way, can we just give some love to the patrons? There's a lot of cool stuff. I have like some really cool. I have the business vlog dropping on patrons real soon. And man, cool stuff. We're having some fun over there. Patrons help us keep the lights on over here. Bryan Cranston as Norman Osborn, that would be amazing. I mean, Bryan Cranston as almost anything would be amazing. James Tolliver, how can I get on the Patreon? Here, I'll get a link to it. In just a second. If you go to the patreon.com and search the Den of Nerds, it should show up, but I know it doesn't always do that. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, too, guys, I mean, I feel like I'm a little all over the place, but there's so much cool stuff coming to the channel very, very soon. As you guys know, I'm moving right now. And so that's the Patreon right there. I wonder if I can pin that. Okay. But there's just so much cool stuff coming to the channel. Like, I'm really trying to get to the point where we can get the Twitch going. There's going to be streaming on Twitch, like, a lot. With not only like a new show that I'm developing, which the patrons know about because we talked about that on Patreon. Not only this new show that I'm developing, but a lot more video game stuff too. Like, I dug into Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3 yesterday. I was playing. Dude, that game is so much fun. And I can't wait to stream it with you guys because the story's really cool. It's really comic booky. It's really Marvel. It's awesome. So we're going to be doing some of that very, very soon. What if Marvel introduces the X-Men with the Avengers approach, using Charles Xavier and Nick Fury to assemble characters throughout their solo films? I think that would be really cool. I think that would work, but I just don't know. I just have this gut feeling that Feige is done with that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, you're sort of building up goodwill. The phase 1 films is like, can we make good movies? Does this work cohesively? And it's brilliant. And then, like, they developed the whole thing throughout time. But I don't know if that's how they should do the X-Men. I almost feel like they should just be Marvel's X-Men, introduce the mutants, like trickle in the mutants over the next couple movies in, phase 4. And then when you do your X-Men movie, which I think would be literally 4 or 5 years from now, you have Marvel's X-Men, and it's just bada boom, bada bing. They're together. It's, they're flying their plane. They're at the school. Like, literally just do it. But do your own version of it. Like, it'll be its own branded version of it. And I just trust the MCU so much to nail that. God, I got to figure out the camera a little bit better here, because these monitor, I'm on my ultra-wide monitor right now, which is a freaking joy to edit on, by the way, guys. To edit on this thing is beautiful, but it's too big and it's wiggly. That's why the camera keeps wiggling. I got to, like, lock that down. Beta Ray Bill in Thor 4. I think so. And I think Beta Ray Bill is just the beginning, that there's going to be so much great weirdness. I talked about this in a video earlier this week, but, you got, like, Blast Star. You could do the Star Jammers. You could do the Shi'ar. You could do so much weird stuff. The Beyonders. You could do so much weird stuff. Taika and Feige have the whole sandbox now, pretty much. The only thing that's off limits is a lot of the Spider-Man things, but there's not really, besides Cosmic Spider-Man himself, there's not really a lot of Cosmic Spider-Man stuff. Do I want more permanent character deaths in Marvel? Yes. Yes, I do. I do want more permanent deaths in Marvel. But, look, what they've done has worked. And, Iron Man's death was so impactful. And Cap's not dead, but, like, his ending was really impactful, too. So, do I want more permanent deaths? Yes. But we've had a few, man. You know what I mean? Like Vision. Unless they resurrect him, which I think they will for the show, I guess. Dang. You know what less permanent deaths I want is villains. I want less permanent villain deaths, man. Like, come on. Mysterio can't be dead. Mysterio's a dope villain. Happy Saturday, Josh. Hope you're having a great day so far. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you. And by the way, I saw someone in there say that I have a crappy beard. I won't even argue with you. It is a crappy beard. But I tell you this, I'd rather have a crappy beard than a good-looking, clean face. And that's just the Stark in me. I hope you heard that, whoever you were, you hater. Damn on those haters, man. Mysterio's dead. I hope not. Thunderbolts movie. Yes! Thunderbolts movie is a must for me. Do you think Daredevil will get to officially join the MCU with a movie once Marvel gets him back from Netflix after it? Yes, I do. Jeremiah Stab. I do believe that. Because Second Street Marvel, you just made me geek out. I lost my entire train of thought now. But yeah, I do think that thing that I was just Daredevil, yeah. So yeah, I do think so, because Daredevil's the most popular of those characters. Like, that's the reason Netflix banked the first show and the start of their shared universe on that character. That's why there had already been another movie with Daredevil. He's very popular. So, yes, I do think Daredevil. I really hope that it will be Charlie Cox, because he nails it, dude. That's just the best. He just nailed it. I really do hope that they get Charlie Cox for the MCU version of that character. Continuing the MCU version of that character. Do we even know that those were the MCU now? Whatever. Who knows, man? Feige. Guys, do I need to call Feige? You want me to call Kev? I call him Kev because we're on a first name basis. Oh, he just texted me. Yeah, those are the MCU, I guess. Okay. Yeah. He's a good guy. Feige's a good guy. Yeah, we are going to hit 100K soon. We will definitely hit 100K by the end of the year. Or at least we should, by all the metrics, yeah. Yeah, Punisher. So if they do Punisher in the MCU, I just think they need to launch the Marvel Max. You need a Marvel Max imprint, and I thought maybe they could start it with Black Widow, but the logic really goes against that, particularly if there's only 2 Marvel films next year. Yeah. But yeah, if they do the have the beard for 100K, I would shave my beard and I'll glue it to like a model or like a little plastic face and give it away at 100K. But yeah, if they do Punisher, in order to do them right, I definitely think you need to go rated R. I definitely think that's what you need to do. Mandarin for Shang-Chi's dad. Yes. So it'll either be the Mandarin for Shang-Chi's dad or Mandarin for Shang-Chi's villain, or maybe both. That's sort of where the speculation goes. Elijah Noggle says, I kind of like the beard, actually. Well, thank you. But you don't have to all caps internet yell at me, but thank you. Dude, Night Monkey. Can we just do a night? Yeah. Someone needs to do a fan fiction, Night Monkey versus Thanos. I think that would be great. Don't be sorry. I'm just kidding. Have I seen or heard anything about She-Hulk? I have heard and seen 0 about She-Hulk. 0. But I love that character. I think it would be really cool. Bring her in. Punisher would work brilliant as a villain that turns anti-hero in a movie. I mean, you know, obviously. But wouldn't that be dope, though? Like, what if he's literally a villain for part of the movie? Any chance we'll see Silver Surfer versus Thor in Thor 4? Wow, wouldn't that be dope? I mean, at this point, why not? That would be amazing, actually. I think Taika's the perfect person to... guys, go with me on this. If you're a Marvel Comics person, which, by the way, there was a lot of cool Marvel Comics announcements yesterday, and there's even more today. Later this afternoon, they're talking about the X-Men stuff, so maybe we'll talk about that later tonight as well. But... I think the Dan Slott Silver Surfer run, the most recent one that gets really, really weird and the art's really bizarre and trippy, I think that Silver Surfer run or parts of that visually could be adapted perfectly with Taika Waititi. Taika is brilliant with that weirdness and that great visual style. So doing some of the Dan Slott Silver Surfer stuff in Thor 4 with Taika Waititi at the helm would be dope. Yeah, comics at Comic-Con. Who would have thought? Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. So the 2099 series, Ken was putting this up on like Twitter and Instagram for us. But yeah, the 2099 stuff, I'm pumped about that. I like the 2099 books. Doom 2099 is an incredible book written by Warren Ellis. But yeah, I like Miguel. I like Spider-Man 2099. So yeah, that stuff seems really cool. I'm really not sure what the Marvel's number 1000 is. Does anyone know what that is? That seems weird. Adam Warlock for Silver Surfer. Why not? Why not? That would be some really cool stuff. So we're going to go for probably 10 more minutes here, guys. Get your questions in. And remember to come back later tonight, midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going live to break down everything that they talk about at Marvel's Hal H panel. We're going to nerd out later tonight. It's going to be really cool. I might even get popcorn. Like, literally might get popcorn. Is it true that casting for Storm for Black Panther 2 is happening? There's no... See you later, C-Mob. There's no truth to that, but it still could happen. I shouldn't say there's no truth to it. To my knowledge, there's no truth to that. They're literally just developing those ideas. So they would not cast for a movie when they're just developing ideas. Now, funny enough, Feige actually has this weird, almost mystical ability to create roles specifically for actors and actresses and then get those actors and actresses. A perfect example of that was Hela. So if you watch a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff for that Thor Ragnarok movie, dude, Al, you should totally be in on that stream tonight. If you're out, hit me up, bro. If you're around, you should get on that stream with me tonight. I might even have Angelo get on that stream with me tonight. But yeah, so Feige, when he was talking about Hela, he was specifically talking about Kate Blanchett being that, like, designing the role for her. And then she said yes, right? Same thing with Michelle Pfeiffer and Janet Van Dyne. Like he has this weird ability to write these roles for these characters and then get them. Probably not all the time, but yeah. So is it possible that both Feige and Ryan Coogler have an idea for who they'd like Storm to be? Sure. That's totally reasonable. But no, they have not cast Storm for that movie. Favorite villain? Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is my favorite villain. For the new heroes of Phase 4, I'd like to see John Krasinski, Fantastic Four. Shark with a Hat says, for the Fantastic Four, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Sue Storm, Alan Tudyk. Wait, what? Oh, Emily Blunt would be there. Alan Tudyk would be the Thing. Human Torch, Decree Montgomery. I don't know who that is. John Boyega Blade. And those are good choices. Do you think we will get a Defenders movie with all the Netflix characters plus Doctor Strange and Spider-Man? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. And if I was Marvel, I would do Exiles instead. I would do Exiles and throw some X-Men on that. And do Spider-Man 2099. Like, that's how I would do it. I would do the Exiles. Because, like, the Defenders brand is a little bit hurt. That was actually apparently that series on Netflix was the least watched one. The actual, like, with them all together, which is a bummer. I liked the Defenders show. I did. I really did. But, yeah, it didn't do that well, I guess. Billy from Stranger Things. Oh, yeah, that guy. That guy would be great. That guy could be cool as Wolverine, too. I saw some people fan casting him as Wolverine. Dude, I miss the Netflix characters, too. I literally almost... as I said, I was playing Ultimate Alliance 3 last night, and I put Daredevil on my team. And there's a segment in the game where you're fighting in the Shadowlands, and it's just beautiful. Like, it's so comic booky. It's so beautiful. And I almost put on Daredevil Netflix to fall asleep to after that because I was just like, dude, I love that character. I love the mise en scène of that show. It's brilliant, man. I really don't know who I would cast. I really don't know. Maybe. Second Stream Marvel, I see you. Dylan O'Brien as Nova would be amazing. Yeah, I can see that. Lucas from Stranger Things could be Miles Morales. Absolutely. He actually kind of looks like him. In the third season, at least. What time does it start? Guys, can we help our good friend, the pretentious carrot here? Can we help him out? What time does it start, chat? Bring back Netflix series. Do you think the Far From Home will hit $1 billion? I absolutely think Far From Home will hit $1 billion. Just got here, Keith Farrell. So here's the thing, Keith. The panels tonight are starting at 5 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific. That's when they go into Hall H. They'll probably get done around 8 or 9 Pacific. At midnight tonight, we're going to break down everything that comes from Hall H because there's no live streaming of that panel. That panel will not be live streamed. It's behind closed doors. But we will go live tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, and we'll break down every little morsel that leaks out, everything that people say they saw, everything. And, of course, speculate about what it means. I hope Chunky Thor will be in Phase 4. I was just thinking about this the other night. How are they going to do Thor in Thor 4? Will he be back in shape? I imagine he'll be sort of back in shape, but maybe not ripped. What do you think? What do you guys think about that? There will be nothing streamed from Hall H or any footage unless Marvel decides to put it out there. Some of that stuff does get put out, like specifically from Marvel or from Comic-Con, but a lot of the big stuff, no. No way will they let that come out officially online. Because a lot of it's like unfinished CGI or concept art, mock-up animations, stuff that like, dude, I totally want to see, but they don't want to release fully and publicly. Yeah, Brent Maxley. Hell yeah, brother. I'll see you tonight at midnight, man. Oh, and thank you. Yeah, besides the camera being shaky and a few other growing pains, the new studio is coming along really well. Oh my God, Brother Voodoo! I love Brother Voodoo. And Nish Samuel. That's a good question, man. Dude, they got to do Brother Voodoo now. I'm demanding it. I love Brother Voodoo. And there was some really cool comics with Brother Voodoo, but there was a Hero Click. I remember, if you guys know what Hero Clicks is, it's like these little figures, Marvel and DC and all these other comics figures, and they fight on a board. Dude, there was this Brother Voodoo figure that was like busted, dude. Busted. And it was from the comic run where he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, and is Sorcerer Supreme for a while. And, dude, Brother Voodoo, love me some Brother Voodoo. Oh, let's get physical montage. Yeah, dude, that actually could be really funny. Scenes of Thor getting back into shape. That's actually a really cool montage. That could be fun. Do you think Phase 4 will have an impact? Wait, what? Was that deleted? Message retracted. Oh. Yeah, his brother got killed in Doctor Strange. He'll be in Doctor Strange 2. Who will the young Avengers be? Well, we got Cassie Lang. We've got the new Hawkeye, which would be the daughter of the current Hawkeye, right? You have Spider-Man, because he's young. I'm missing some, aren't I? There's some others that are already developed in the MCU that I cannot think of. But yeah, there's some young guns, and then you introduce some new young guns, you know? No, none of the Hall H stuff is streamed, but there's some stuff that gets shown later. Like if some of them, it depends on what the studio wants to do. So I'm pretty sure it's up to the studio because I've seen some footage from panels and maybe like certain parts of it gets recorded and then they release it out later. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's up to the studio, but the majority of the big juicy stuff from Hall H tonight will not be streamed. It's just the way that it goes, unfortunately. Oh, Shuri. Yeah, Shuri could be a young Avenger for sure. I like Shuri a lot. She's a really fun character, man. She's cool. Yeah, Iron Lad. Harley Kenner, Iron Lad. Perfect. Kid from Iron Man 3. Keanu could be announced soon. Keanu would be a surprise for later today. Keanu's going to be a surprise for the panel tonight, I think. Do you think we'll get more Marvel Disney Plus shows revealed at the panel? Zane, Doc Mack. Yes, I do think so. I do think so. I hope they announce. There's a rumor there's a War Machine show. I would love a War Machine show. And also, do War Machine, as he's working for S.H.I.E.L.D., taking on more of a role in protecting the planet and building up the defenses. I'd also love a Sword show. Agents of S.W.O.R.D. Boom. Nick Fury, Captain Marvel. Boom. Out in space. Skrulls, Kree, Shi'ar. Boom. That'd be dope. Power Pack movie? Why the hell not? Yeah, Mr. J, I sort of agree with you there. I love Keanu, but I don't know if he could do a great Doctor Doom. But Keanu's done some other roles. I mean, I don't want to say he's got range per se, but he's got more range than people give him credit for. I think actually he would be really good. He could work voice modulated as Doom, but I don't really want to see that. He's probably just going to be one of those Eternals guys. But I think he could actually pull off Wolverine, maybe. And there was one character that I really wanted him to be that I can't think of right now. He'd be great as a Sentry. He'd be an interesting Sentry. Was Mysterio underrated in Far From Home? It's hard to say. I think people love him. So I don't think he could be underrated because people love that character and that performance. Ooh, yeah. Martin Strong as Doctor Doom could be good. That could be really good. Am I going to play Fortnite as there is an event going on? Sharon Sam Escobar. No, I'm not going to be playing Fortnite. I really don't care for Fortnite, to be honest with you. I like Apex Legends a lot. I'll be playing Apex Legends on the Twitch eventually. But if I game today, it's going to be flipping Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. That game is dope. That was it. Juan Marquez, thank you. Keanu playing Moon Knight, I think could totally work. Now he's not really what I would imagine for Mark Spector, the Mark Spector character, especially in earlier renditions. That's not exactly what I'm imagining. But when I think about the newer Moon Knight, the like from the Warren Ellis run a couple of years ago to current run, he's sort of this hyper stylized character that is kind of quippy and like talks less and almost always has the white mask on. So he's either got that white mask on with the white suit or he's full on Moon Knight with the cape and cowl. So I think he could work. I think he could make that happen as Moon Knight. I bet Chris Evans could pull off Johnny Storm. All right, guys, I'm going to call it there. Ooh, Michael Fassbender as Doctor Doom. Hell yes, let's make that happen. All right, guys, I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this edition of Fan Chats Live, all predicting and speculating about Hal H. Marvel's panel at Comic-Con later tonight. It's going to be huge. Come back tonight at midnight, and we're going to be streaming, talking about all the things that go down on the panel. And just because Second Street Marvel just popped in with Super Chat, what mission do you think the Avengers were on in Far From Home? I don't think they were on any missions, actually. I think they're all they could be all on their own sort of missions, but I think they were all taking care of things other than the elementals, right? Taking care of other things. And you might say, well, wouldn't the elementals be pretty freaking important? Yeah, but so could many other things. So I guess I kind of just answered that, yes, they would be on a mission. Damn it, but I don't think they're on a mission. Anyways, guys, thanks to Second Street Marvel for ruining my outro. Love you, bro. Thank you for that. You guys, I will see you, most of you, later tonight at midnight for that stream. And if not, I'll catch you in a future video. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I will see you either in the stream or in the video, the next video. All right. Bye.